Hello everyone, welcome to Pratham Test Prep. I'm Ashish Bhargav and welcome to another episode of Daily News Analysis. And I hope that you guys are doing well. Or as we know that newspaper analysis is very important because in your exam there are many aspect of the things that you used to ask. और आपके एग्जाम में बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं that is based on current affairs, and what is the best source to knowing the current affairs is that to reading the newspaper. If you read the newspaper properly, make sure that there are certain kind of news which you need to keep an eye on that, like national news, international news, economy based news, sports based news, science and tech, personal news, summits and conference. So entire thing that we discuss in the one session, because as we know that newspaper is the best source to know and the facts what is happening around us, and you would be very familiar to know about that what things is relevant to your exam and what things need to not need to do this, need to skip. So apart from that, we also discuss about Supreme Court verdict, right? Any amendments, any bills, which is very important for your, especially for the law entrance exam, right? And one request is that if you are new in this channel, please subscribe the channel as well, and do not forget to press the bell icon so you will get the notification of all our Pratham Test Prep mentors. And this is our new initiative, that is a weekly current affairs quiz. So initially, the purpose to conduct such kind of session that you would be able to revise all the content that we have done from Monday to Thursday, right? That's why that the session is conducted live at 4 PM, and आप इसमें questions answers जो है वो आप मुझे live में पूछ सकते हैं, उसके answers भी दे सकते हैं. So most of the questions, the around 80% question, they are directly extracted from the Hindu or Indian Express. And here is a quote: nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. And as I told you in each and every class, not each and every concept, not in each and every news in newspaper is important for your exam perspective, right? So in this session that you will got to know that which session need to which news need to is very relevant and which one is need to skip. Chalo. So here we have taken initiative questions of the day, and that questions of the day is important because यहाँ पे आपको जो भी questions होंगे वो आज के session से या तो last session से related होते हैं और आप उसे solve करेंगे. So you will got to know that कि like कितने questions और exam में अगर आपको newspaper आप read करते हो उससे किस type की questions exam में पूछे जा सकते हैं. So before starting the session, here is the headlines of the day. So what is the headlines? Here is the headlines. So under the West to Wealth concept given by PM Modi, the Coimbatore Smart City Mission has taken the initiative of cleaning the waste accumulated over decades and earning from it. So ये जो Coimbatore Smart City Mission that was taken by the initiative of cleaning the waste accumulated over decades and earning from it. और recently initiative concept जो था वो PM मोदी का था. सो वेस्ट टू वेल्थ जो है आपका ये कंसेप्ट किसने अनाउंस किया? बाय पीएम मोदी, एंड द सिटी इज कोयम्बटूर. नेक्स्ट हेडलाइंस में आप देखोगे तो इसमें है प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी विल ले द फाउंडेशन स्टोन ऑफ द रीडेवलपमेंट ऑफ 508 रेलवे स्टेशन अक्रॉस द कंट्री थ्रू वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग. सो 508 ये डेटा नीड टू रिमेंबर. The government has allocated 1,39,579 crore rupees to extend Bharat Net in 6,40,000 विलेज अक्रॉस द कंट्री. सो भारत नेट में के बारे में हम बहुत बार डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. नेशनल हेल्थ अथॉरिटी ने अनाउंस किया एक्सटेंशन ऑफ इस डिजिटल हेल्थ इंसेंटिव स्कीम DHIS. कई बार आपको फुल फॉर्म भी पूछते हैं एग्जाम में कि आपका DHIS का फुल फॉर्म बताओ. So it is digital health incentive schemes under the Ayushman Bharat digital mission. So make sure that the digital health incentive schemes that is not comes under the Ministry of Health, that is come under the Ayushman Bharat digital mission till the 31st of December this year. Next is talking about Union Minister of State for Entrepreneurship and Electronics IT Rajiv Chandrasekhar. So Ministry of State for Entrepreneurship and Skill Development is IT Rajiv Chandrasekhar will be taking part in a Digital India RICVM symposium being organized by IT Madras and IT Pravarak Technology Foundation, ITM and Foundation in Chennai. Next headlines is talking about President of India Srimati Draupadi Murmu inaugurated the Festival of Libraries in New Delhi. Next headlines, Ministry of Law and Justice organized the second edition of Inter-Ministry Bar and Bench Badminton Championship at Tyagaraja Sports Complex, that is in New Delhi. Union Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Rajiv Tanshekhar virtually addressed the first India-Japan Skill Connect Conference. So the first India-Japan Skill Connect Conference that was done by the Ministry of State for Skill Development, and that was held in Tokyo at the Indian Embassy. Next headlines is talking about in a significant stride towards bolstering Sri Lanka digital transformation, and India has provided financial assistance of 45 crore rupees to support the island nation unique digital identity project. उसके बाद आपका नेक्स्ट हेडलाइंस है फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर निर्मला सीतारमण ने विजिट किया एडिचुलर एंड एंशियंट एंड हिस्टोरिकल आयरन एज burial site in Thoothukudi district, Tamil Nadu, set along the bank of Tamirbani river, and also laid the foundation stone of iconic site museum at Adi Chenlur site. Union Home Minister of Ministry of Corporations Shri Amit Shah will launch the digital port of the Chennai Register of Corporate Society office in Chennai. 132 edition of Duran Cup kicked off in Kolanjar, Assam. Rakhar Mantri Shri Rajnath Singh graced the opening ceremony, which marked the general beginning of annual football competition for the first time in the Assamese city. Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla has given a 1-year extension to 22nd August 2024. And National Security and Defence Services think tank United Service Institution of India USI is organizing a historic military heritage guided tour to eliminate the country-rich military legacy among the citizen. The last headlines, ISRO ने Indian Space Research Organization ने set all the lunar orbit injection of Chandrayaan 3 escape craft. Bureau of Indian Standard BIS, the national standard body of India, ने साइन किया एक MOU with 35 prestigious institutions across the country for fostering collaboration in standardization and conformity assessment. Third one, in FISU World University Games 2023 and Chengdu, India have won 36 medals including 11 gold, 5 silver and 10 bronze. Aditi Swami ने create किया history by becoming the first ever Indian to clinch the individual world title at the World Archery Championship final in Berlin. Sports Authority of India साइन है under the umbrella campaign Cheer for India, और ये Cheer for India जो है वो क्या है, SAI Sports Authority of India ने launch a short movie series Halla Bol on a journey of Asian Games bound athlete to motivate them for a Hangzhou Asian Games. Every year August 6 is celebrated as Hiroshima Day, और इसके ऊपर हमारे आर्टिकल्स भी होंगे आज. National Handloom Day is observed every year on August 7th. ये था प्यारे बच्चों आपका headlines of the day. And why it is important? Because headlines of the day में मतलब the purpose is to so that you will revise all these things in a very simple, lucid and crux आपको यहाँ मिल जाता है, and that is also important. अब हम बात करते हैं इज द वेरी फर्स्ट न्यूज़, रूरल पॉवर्टी डिक्लाइंस बट लाइफस्टाइल इश्यूज इमर्ज. अभी रिसेंटली जो है आपका नीति आयोग ने हैज़ कम आउट विद एन अपडेटेड मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स which is called MPI, which is Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index, MPI for India. It captures the progress of country in 3 equally weighted dimension. पहला आपका आ गया इसमें health, one is health, second is that education, and third is standard of living. So there are 3 parameters in the multi-dimensional poverty index which is released by Niti Aayog, which is National Institution for Transforming India. So MPI जो है आपका 3 चीज़ों के लिए, हेल्थ के लिए, एडुकेशन, एंड थर्ड वन इज स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग. दैट इज स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग. सो देयर आर 3 पैरामीटर्स टू for the MPI, which is called multi-dimensional poverty index. सो इस प्रोग्रेस रिव्यू में ये चीज़ें बताएगी, लाइक बिकॉज आपको पता है कि यहाँ पे जो नीति आयोग है, दिस इज नॉन टू बी अ थिंक टैंक, राइट. सो पब्लिक पॉलिसी थिंक टैंक रिवील्स अ स्टीप decline in the proportion of population in multidimensional poverty from 24.85% to 14.96% between 2015-16 and 2019 and 2021. So this means कि 135.5 million जो persons हैं that have existed poverty between 2015-16 and 2019-21. Same time में intensity of poverty, extreme poverty in common parlance has reduced from 47.14% to 44.35%. सो इसमें आपको ये देखना है कि रूरल एरियाज़ में नंबर ऑफ पक्का और सेमी पक्का हाउस, राइट, हैज़ इंक्रीज मैनीफोल्ड. ऑलमोस्ट एवरी वन हैज़ अ सेल फोन, मोस्टली स्मार्टफोन्स, मोटर बाइक एंड नॉट द बाइसाइकिल इज द मोस्ट कॉमन मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट. So these changes are welcome and corroborate the facts points out in the review that the incidence of poverty fell from 32.59% to 19.28% in rural areas between 2015-16 and 2019 and 2021. फिर ये आप देखो तो along with these tell sign of the growth story, these are certain concern which need deliberation. पहला जो माइग्रेशन जो है आपका, क्योंकि हमारे इंडिया में माइग्रेशन इज़ द बिगेस्ट इशू. उससे क्या होता है कि माइग्रेशन फ्रॉम रूरल एरियाज टू अर्बन और सेमी अर्बन एरियाज. सो अ वॉक अराउंड विलेज शो दैट अ लार्ज नंबर ऑफ हाउस आर लॉक्ड. देयर is an acute shortage of labor and at times farming, especially vegetables cultivation, takes a hit because of that. कि बहुत सारे लोग गांव को छोड़ के शहर की तरफ मूव कर चुके हैं. उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है? उसका इम्पैक्ट होता है आपको कि आप जब गांव के में जाओगे तो अगर आप वहाँ पे लेबर्स नहीं होंगे, वो लेबर किसी और स्टेट को सर्व कर देंगे, तो उस स्टेट की कहीं ना कहीं एग्रीकल्चर जो एरेबल लैंड है वो कहीं ना कहीं आपको इफेक्टेड होती है. ठीक है. So farmers seems to be losing interest in agriculture and more land is coming under lease arrangement, which often result in lesser investment and hence lesser productivity. Secondly, addiction to tobacco, गुटखा, liquor is on rise. जो गांव के लोग होते हैं उनमें देखा होगा एडिक्शन इन चीज़ों की बहुत ज़्यादा होती है, टोबैको की, गुटखा की, शराब पीने की. सो अनफॉर्चुनेटली इसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है? देखो बहुत सारे लोग अभी जो आपकी रूरल अर्बन माइग्रेशंस होती हैं तो गांव छोड़ के अपने शहर की तरफ जाते हैं. जब शहर की तरफ जाते हैं दैट मीन्स दे आर लिविंग. अगर कोई इंसान इफ इज़ फॉर द बेटर अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए अगर वो किसी अच्छे शहर में जा रहा है, फॉर दिल्ली, मुंबई, चेन्नई, इन प्लेसेस पे, दैट इज़ अ गुड फॉर द कंट्री. बट अगर गांव के जो किसान हैं, अगर जो फार्मर्स हैं, अगर वो लैंड छोड़ कर जाते हैं तो उस लैंड पे लीज अग्रीमेंट की जाती है, राइट. सो एडिक्शन ऑफ टोबैको, गुटखा, लिक्विड इज ऑल्सो इन ऑन राइज. Unfortunately, there are hardly any village where liquor is not available legally or illegally. So this is having an adverse impact on people's ability to work. Thirdly, रीज़न क्या हो सकता है इसका, जो गांव की पॉवर्टी है, जो गांव की गरीबी है, उसको हटाने के लिए? तो थर्ड इज दैट एडिक्शन टू द फोन. People of all ages are spending a huge part of their day on various social media apps. So it is taking serious toll on the physical and mental health of the rural populace, damaging the social fabrics in the village and resulting in crime against women and scheduled caste. सो उन शॉर्ट्स और रील्स में जो लाइफ दिखाई जाती है एक्चुअल में किसी की ऐसी लाइफ होती नहीं है. सो दैट जो हमारा यूथ है, जो हमारा फार्मर्स है, कहीं ना कहीं उनकी डिस्ट्रैक्शंस होती हैं एंड इट इज़ डैमेजिंग द सोशल फैब्रिक इन द विलेज and resulting in crime against women and scheduled caste. This is also leading a various misinformation campaign and a spreading of अफवाह at times. और दूसरा एक मेजर इशू है इसका cleanliness and hygiene. स्वच्छ भारत मिशन में has resulted in the building of toilets in the homes, but fifth and squalor in common areas of village continues to be an issue. More employment opportunity near village, covering availability of tobacco product and liquor. जो अवेयरनेस कैंपेन चलानी चाहिए, इल इफेक्ट ऑफ स्पेंडिंग टू मच टाइम ऑन द इंटरनेट एंड लॉन्चिंग ऑफ स्वच्छ भारत 2.0 विद फोकस ऑफ वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट एट द विलेज लेवल कुड बी द वे फॉरवर्ड. सो नीति आयोग जो है एक एजेंसी है विच हैज़ द wherewithal to draw up blueprint which active stakeholders consultation to address the concern. It is time to move forward on social front also and work on personal lifestyle aspect of the people to make economic upliftment more wholesome and meaningful. Now moving forward, this one, the lesson of Hiroshima must not drift away. So इसमें आपको हिरोशिमा डे आपको पता है 6 अगस्त को मनाते हैं. The morning of August 6, 1945, so down clear and sunny as the Enola Gay wheeled over Hiroshima and dropped its payload of the city center. 15 kg uranium bomb exploded 600 meters above the Hiroshima Prefectural Industrial Promotional Hall, instantly flattening everything and everyone below. So what is the concept of deterrence? So in the intervening 78 years, we have witnessed the rise and fall of nuclear threats, and the concept of nuclear deterrence attached to a sharpest mind in countries that both possess nuclear weapons and absorb them. Especially अगर बात करें nuclear weapons became more powerful, and it became clear that any nuclear use would be a global problem. And this allowed a parallel development to occur. Even as nuclear weapons state developed even more destructive nukes, a taboo against the actual use of to begin to develop. So in short, the political scientist Nina Terenwal ने define किया है इसे कि nuclear taboo as an coalescing norms against using nuclear weapons, because ये जो weapons हैं are seen to be beyond the pale that are amongst no circumstances which they can be justified. So the taboo is grounded firmly in our treating nuclear weapons as different. Nuclear weapons in Bernard Brody celebrated fish as the absolute weapons. बात करें जब special status of nuclear weapons की rest on the continually reaffirmed knowledge gained from the survival of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that nuclear weapons are indiscriminate and do not distinguish between combatants and non-combatants, and they contaminate the environment for decades, and effect of radiation to felt for generation. There are people in Japan still living in consequences of August 1945. Even अगर आप देखें तो Russia invasion of Ukraine have tested our notion of deterrence and the taboo. जो Russian President Vladimir Putin ने issue किया several real and not so real nuclear threats, ranging from reminding the world of Russia nuclear weapon status at the starts of war against Ukraine, जो कि हमारा start हुआ था, that is Feb 24, 2022, right? So 38 years के बाद भी लीडर्स रोनाल्ड रेगन ने जो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में थे एंड मिखाइल गोर्शेव ने सोवियत यूनियन को डिक्लेयर किया दैट न्यूक्लियर वॉर कैन नॉट बी वॉन एंड मस्ट नेवर बी फॉट. सो ये स्टेटमेंट आपको याद रखने की ज़रूरत है. बाद में आपने देखा होगा नाटो के रोल्स के बारे में. नाटो विच मीन्स नॉर्थ अटलांटिक ट्रीटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. नॉर्थ अटलांटिक ट्रीटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो कि इस्टेब्लिश हुई थी किस साल में 1949. कितने मेंबर्स हैं इसके? 30 और 31. लास्ट मेंबर जो बना है आपका इसका फिनलैंड बना है. फिनलैंड रिसेंटली जॉइंड द नाटो. सो इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट द डेवलप्ड नेशन, यहाँ पे जो ऑफिशियल रिस्पॉन्स है नाटो का एंड अदर न्यूक्लियर वेपन स्टेट का, तो इसमें मिस्टर पुतिन ने इस बात पे डिक्लेयर किया था कि लाइक द US was at forefront of this. And you have to think about that like US also did not change its nuclear preparedness, thereby not fueling the nuclear speculation building in Europe. Crucially अगर बात करें in November, even China का जो president है Jinping called on international community to jointly oppose the use of threats to use of nuclear weapons. और इंडिया ने इसके लिए साइन भी किया हुआ है nuclear weapons. कमेंट सेक्शन में can anyone tell कि न्यूक्लियर के लिए कौन से weapons हमने साइन किए हैं, राइट? चलो, so next articles is talking about America pursuit of Saudi Israel rapprochements. So basically ये आर्टिकल जो है ये लिखी है रिटायर्ड इंडियन एम्बेसडर ने, जिसमें आयरनिकली जो इसमें आपको एक जियोपॉलिटिकल लेवल समझना होगा इस आर्टिकल के अंदर कि हाउ द मिडिल ईस्ट, US एंड अदर कंट्रीज इज़ लाइक सऊदी क्राउन जो है उनके साथ क्या क्या है, और इजराइल और सऊदी के बीच का इम्पैक्ट इंडिया के ऊपर क्या हो सकता है, सऊदी ने क्या क्या इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं, एंड व्हाट आर द कन्वर्जेंस विद द डिफरेंट मोटिव्स, एंड उसका वाइडर इम्पैक्ट क्या होने वाला है, राइट? So the proverbial propensity of the Middle East to spring surprise is on call again, and this time is about to chance of success of dogged, albeit quit United States diplomacy to reconcile two regional powers, which is Saudi Arabia and Israel. Ironically, अगर देखें तो quest by Biden administration is taking the under challenging circumstances, and सऊदी की जो initiatives हैं, क्या क्या initiatives हैं उसके लिए, after nearly 8 decades of US-Saudi Energy of Security Compact of 1945, Riyadh has been assiduously diversifying its strategic option. So they deserve President Joe Biden bid for the re-election next year. Against this obstructive backdrop, the White House has waged a concerted campaign to persuade Saudi Arabia to normalize its relation with Israel. तो इसमें एक वाइडर इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा कि सऊदी इजराइल जो हमारा rapprochement है would have a mildly positive impact on India. It would remove a contradiction in India region policy and better alliance Saudi Arabia with US. और ये एक opportunity open कर सकता है US pushes back to China from the region, and then it may also give Israel region to hyphenate India with Islamic countries including Pakistan. Next, what is carbon capture storage, and can it cut emissions? So what is CCS? So there are two main type of carbon. So there are two main type of carbon capture and storage. One is point source carbon capture and storage, CS, which captures CO2 produced at the source, such as smokestack, which direct air capture DAC removes carbon dioxide that has already been released into the atmosphere. ये काम कैसे करता है? How does it works? First, जो CO2 होता है that has to be separated from the other gases produced in industrial process of during power generation. जब इसको capture करते हैं, it has to be compressed and transported to sites for storage, often via pipelines, and after that it has to be injected into rock formation underground, typically 1 kilometer or more under the ground. It means that CO2 जो है आपका, उसको हम क्या करते हैं, compressed करने की ज़रूरत होती है. So is the technology जो है that is proven? So CCS जो है आपका, this is called carbon capture and storage. Carbon capture and storage. So it was started in operation 1970 with more than 200 million tons of CO2 captures and stored deep underground globally, the global CCS, right? So इसमें what role can it play? So a UN panel of scientists report last year CCS can help the world reach global climate targets set under the 2015 Paris Agreement on climate change, but that the focus needed to remain on preventing emission from being emitted in the first place. Now is talking about India Tiger project at a fork of the road. India Tiger Reserve have done well, but there remains a key questions. How many wild tigers can the world's most populous nation sustain? So India's tiger count to now revised to 3,682, up from 3,167 announced by the Prime Minister in April. So a rise in numbers of excess of 3,000 was always on the cards. And सबसे ज़्यादा टाइगर पॉपुलेशन आपकी इंडिया में है पूरे वर्ल्ड में, एंड सेकंड पोजीशन पे है रशिया. So there is a fifth cycle of tiger estimation since the once in 4 years countrywide census was revamped with scientific rigor in 2006. For example, 2006 में there were 28 tiger reserve compared to the 51 tiger reserve survey in 2022. In 2010 there were only 800 camera traps in 10,500 square kilometer in comparison, right? So in short, like बात करें किसकी स्टेट में, यहाँ पे Karnataka appears to be bristling with the substantial jump in numbers of Madhya Pradesh. वहाँ पे Goa does not seem to want to acknowledge it has any tigers to the National Tiger Conservation Authority, which is called NTCA. उसके बाद इसमें द नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न बॉर्डर स्टेट विथ द फॉल विद द इंडो बर्मा बायोडाइवर्सिटी हॉटस्पॉट आर्क, वन ऑफ द 25 ग्लोबल बायोडाइवर्सिटी हॉटस्पॉट। एंड उसमें आप देखोगे कि जून में वाइल्ड लाइफ क्राइम कंट्रोल ब्यूरो ने WCCB ने इशू किया एक रेड अलर्ट अराउंड वेरियस टाइगर रिजर्व स्पेशली एरियाज इन एंड अराउंड सतपुरा लाइक तदोबा, पेंच, जिम कॉर्बेट, अमानगढ़, पीलीभीत, वाल्मीकि, राजाजी एंड एज वेल एज टाइगर बियरिंग एरिया सच एज बेलाघाट, गदरौचित, चंद्रपुर में, इन दैट स्टेट्स में। हिस्ट्री ऑफ नो कॉन्फिडेंस वोट्स ये स्टार्ट हुआ था व्हेन नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन वाज मूव्ड फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम। इसमें आपको ये आर्टिकल्स आपको मैं बता रहा कि 15 टाइम्स नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन को मूव किया गया अगेंस्ट इंदिरा गांधी। शी वॉन ऑल ओकेजन्स एंड 24.34 आवर्स की ड्यूरेशन थी डिबेट ऑन नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन अगेंस्ट लाल बहादुर शास्त्री, द लॉन्गेस्ट एवर। 4 नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन वर मूव्ड बाय ज्योति राय बसु, CPI मार्क्सिस्ट। 2003 में कांग्रेस चीफ सोनिया गांधी ने मूव किया नो कॉन्फिडेंस अगेंस्ट अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी। तो ऑन 1979 में मोरारजी देसाई वाज द ओनली प्राइम मिनिस्टर टू रिजाइन इन द मिडिल ऑफ अ नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन। शुड द एज ऑफ कंसेंट बी रिवाइज इन इंडिया? ये मैंने इसकी आर्टिकल्स के क्रक्स मैंने आपको बता रखे हैं ऑलरेडी। नाउ इट्स टाइम टू क्वेश्चंस ऑफ द डे। Global Education Monitoring Report is released by UNICEF, UNDP, WEF and UNESCO. So the right answer is option D. UNESCO Global Education Monitoring Report 2023 warns against the uncritical adoption of digital technology in educational setting as there is little robust evidence of its added value in education. The Black Sea Grain Initiative recently seen in news was backed by European Union, World Bank, United Nations and World Trade Organization. So the right answer is C option. Russia has said it withdrawing from the Black Sea grain deal, which assured safe passage to ship carrying grain from Ukraine, brokered by UN and Turkey. Which among the following is the nodal procurement agency for pulses in India? India's Pulses and Grain Association, National Pulses Corporation Limited, National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India, NAFED and Food Corporation of India FCI. So C is the right answer because Food Corporation of India procured of rice and wheat. So the National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India (NAFED) is the nodal procurement agency for pulses, like Food Corporation of India or FCI is for rice and wheat. And the second last question, consider the following statement regarding no confidence motion. In a parliamentary democracy, a government can be in power only if it commands as a majority in directly elected house any Lok Sabha MPs who can garner the support of minimum 100 MPs can at any point of time introduce a motion of no confidence against the Council of Ministers. The first motion of no confidence was moved during the 5th Lok Sabha in 1975. So asking about how many of above statement are correct one. So there is a directive word is correct. Make sure like you need to find it out like which one a statement is correct. So any Lok Sabha MPs, member of parliament who can garner the support of minimum 50 MPs. So that is the 50 MP it requires. The statement second one is incorrect. Not 100 MP is the right answer. So all three we cannot say because second statement was incorrect. So we need to apply the POE, which is process of elimination. So we can easily eliminate the option third one. None we can say, we can't say because and only two we can say. We are left with the only option one and none. So the first motion of no confidence was moved during the 5th Lok Sabha 1975. This one is the incorrect one. As we have discussed in the this one, as I can show to you, just wait, this one. See. So 1963, when the no confidence motion with the move for the first time. So it was an year 1963, right? So in short, we can say, sorry, the next statement was also incorrect. So this one is 1963, as we have discussed in this newspaper analysis. So we are left with the only option one. So only A is the right answer. So in a parliamentary democracy, a government can be in power only if it commands a majority in the directly elected house. This one is the explanation. In the parliamentary democracy, a government can be in power only if it commands majority of the directly elected house, which is Article 75, Clause 3 of our Constitution, embodies this rule by specifying that Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. So that's why we have parliamentary form of governance, because the Council of Ministers are responsible to the Lok Sabha. The last question is the State of World's Forest Report is released by IUCN, UNEP, Global Forest Watch and Food and Agricultural Organization. So the right answer option D. So it was released by United Nations, FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So this is all about the session, dear student, and I hope that you enjoyed the session a lot. If you have any questions regarding this, please let me know in the comment section, and please share this video to your friends and family group so that they must be aware about that what is happening around us. And if you are new in this channel, please subscribe the channel as well, and do not forget to press the bell icon so you will get the notification of all our Pratham Test Prep mentors. Stay tuned. We'll meet you tomorrow at the same time. Till then, take care and bye bye.